Good morning, students. Welcome back to the session. I hope I'm audible and you're able to see the shared screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. So we have been discussing about the assembly process of SIC bar XC program. So it is completely different from what we have seen for SIC standard model, right? So in case of SIC standard, it was quite simple. During pass one, we perform the address assignment as usual. And even during pass one, the task was quite simple because the instruction format that exists in SIC standard model is just one. So we simply incremented the value of the location counter by 3 every time we saw an instruction. Of course, the changes was with regard to assembler directives because the assembler directives are handled differently. When it comes to pass 2, the assembly process was also quite simple in SIC standard model. All we had to do was put together the opcode with the label or the symbol, or opcode with the operand, right? Like for example, one example that I've been always taking is STL RAT ADR. So STL was 14 and return address was 1039. You simply put them together, the object code was actually generated. And later this object code was written into the text record to generate the object program, right? So this was a fairly simple task in SIC standard model, but it is not the case in SIC bar XC. Now why? Because we have got different types of instruction formats, right? So that is one of the reason. And the second reason being that it supports different types of addressing modes. So all these things needs to be considered when we are assembling the program for SIC bar XC. Okay, that's why, because these features are exclusively present in SIC bar XC, we are calling these as machine dependent features of assembler. Okay, so our assembler now is changing its functionality because of the extra functions or extra features that are present in SIC bar XC. So that's why we call it as a machine dependent feature of assembler. Because the machine supports it, we are changing our assembler accordingly. Okay, so that's why it is dependent on the machine features. So that's why it's called as machine dependent features of assembler, or let's discuss under machine dependent features of assembler. Okay, now let us look into the assembly process, right? So as I already mentioned, the first part of the process is as usual pass one, where we are supposed to assign the address. Okay, so but I mentioned that when you are assigning the address, you are supposed to look into the following things. One of the thing is that which format instruction is that. Okay, so whether it's a format 1 instruction, whether it's a format 2 or a format 3 or a format 4. Okay, because we know that the instruction size varies, right? So format 1 is 1 byte, format 2 is 2 byte, format 3 is 3 byte, and format 4 is 4 byte respectively. So whenever we are assigning address and incrementing the value of location counter, we are supposed to look into what instruction is currently being considered, and accordingly we are supposed to increment the value. And of course, the assembler directives are handled in a similar way as we have handled it in case of the SIC standard model. Okay, so assembler directives same, but instruction format are different. Okay, so accordingly we considered this part of the program to assemble. So it says that the starting address of the program is 0. I mentioned that this type of a program is called as a relocatable program. So whenever you have starting address specified as 0, it's called as a relocatable program. Okay, so we'll start with address 000000. Next we have to increment the value. So we have to look at the instruction. So this is a 3 byte instruction. So we are supposed to increment by 3. So it is 0003. Now this is once again a 3 byte instruction. So I mentioned that this is an assembler directive. So let us skip that part. So this is 0006. So at 6 we have an extended format instruction. So I already mentioned that this is how you identify instruction formats, right? So instruction formats are identified as follows. Like if it's a simple instruction that looks like an that SIC standard model instruction, then it's basically a format 3. So if the instruction is preceded by plus, then it is a format 4. If in the operand field we have registers, then it is a format 2. If we do not have any operands, okay, then it is a format 1. Okay, so I'll show you. Okay, first let me assign the address. Okay, no, it's not possible. Right. I hope you're able to see this. This is the set of instructions, okay, appendix from textbook that I have shared yesterday. So this is the SIC instruction set and the addressing modes. Okay, basically it gives you the information about what instructions are present in SIC and SIC bar XC, and what are their format and what is their corresponding equivalent and what do they actually do. So you can observe here that all the instructions have been given, right? So we have got add, we have got addf, we have got addr. Okay, both SIC and SIC bar XC instructions are present here. And it also specifies whether it's a format 3 or a format 4, or whether it can be a format 3 or a format 4. Okay, like you can observe here, there is format 3. I hope you're able to see this. Okay, so add, the opcode is 18. It can be either a format 3 or a format 4, right? Similarly, addf, it is 58, format 3 or format 4. Okay, now the important thing here is, as I said, we need not worry about this because the opcode value will be given to us. I mentioned that there are only a few set of instructions that are format 1, right? So like for example, you can observe here, fix, okay, is a 1 byte instruction format. Float is a 1 byte instruction format. HIO is a 1 byte instruction format, right? Similarly, so now we have seen 3 instructions which are 1 byte. So if you simply look into the appendix, you will also see few more, like norm is one byte instruction format. Okay, SIO is 1 byte instruction format. So 5 instructions. And let us see further. Okay, TIO is 1 byte instruction format. So totally 6 instructions are 1 byte. Okay, 6 instructions are 1 byte, right? So format 1. So format 2, let us check what are format 2. So for example, you can observe here TIXR R1, right? So I mentioned whenever you have a register value in your instruction, it is a format 2. Okay, so otherwise it can be a format 3 or a format 4. So of course, now we know how to differentiate between format 3 and format 4. For format 3 does not have a plus sign. Format 4 will have a plus sign. Okay, so that's the difference. So that is how we identify format 1, format 2, format 3, and format 4. So apart from those 6 instructions that are 1 byte in length, other instructions are either 2, 3, or format 4. Okay, so I hope you have followed this. As I said, you need not worry about the opcode because the opcode value will be given. All you need to identify is whether it's a format 1, format 2, format 3, or a format 4. Okay, right. So we started with 0000, 0003. So this is 0006. So at 6 we have plus, so which means that it's an extended format instruction. So we add 4 to this. Now here we have a format 3, so 000 A, B, C, D, right? So it is D. So compare 0 is at D, D plus 3, right? So D plus 3 is 000, I believe 1 E, EF 0, right? So 0010. So once again we have this here 0014, something like this. Okay, so this is how we perform the address assignment. So I'm not going to go in detail because we already discussed about this. So once you are done with the address assignment, it would look something like this. Okay, so this is the pattern in which we have assigned the address for all the statements in our program. Now comes the assembly process. Okay, so we'll start the assembly process as usual, assuming that we have the opcode value present in the operation table and we have the symbol value present in the symbol table. Okay, so we have got this ready with us because during pass 1 we have filled up the symbol table as usual, and op table is as usual present with the assembler from the beginning. Okay, so I told you that by default the instructions are assembled using PC relative addressing mode, especially the instructions that are present in format 3. Okay, especially the instructions that are present in format 3, they are assembled using PC. So if it cannot be assembled using PC, then it will be assembled by using base relative addressing mode. If it cannot be assembled using base relative addressing mode, then we are going to use extended format instruction. Extended format instruction in the sense wherever we have used F4, format 4. Okay, so wherever we have used format 4, it means that it would have not been possible for us to assemble the instruction using format 3. That's why we have used format 4 in those specific cases. Okay, right. So when do we use PC and when do we use base? I have made this clarification. So by default, we always start with PC relative addressing mode. Okay, we'll assume that it's PC. We'll try to assemble the instruction. If it gets assembled, then fine. If it doesn't, then we need to assemble using base relative addressing mode. Now, when we are assembling the instruction using base relative addressing mode, we need to tell the assembler what value you are storing in the base register. Okay, and for that purpose, we are using an assembler directive called as base. Okay, so this assembler directive here tells the assembler that we have stored the value of length in the base register. Okay, and where did we do that? Look at the previous instruction. Previous instruction is LDB. LDB means what? Load into base register. What is the value you are loading? You are loading the value of length. Okay, you are loading the value of length, right? So this is one thing. So base register has to be filled up by the programmer, and it has to be intimated to the assembler that this is the value that has been loaded into the base register, so that if the assembler can't assemble the instruction using PC, then it can do it using base relative addressing mode and with the contents of base register, because you know how the target address is calculated. So if you are using the PC relative addressing mode, target address is PC plus content of PC plus the displacement, right? So we are supposed to calculate the displacement, so we use this formula for that. But if you are using the base relative addressing mode, it is almost the same. So instead of PC, we are going to make use of the content of base register. Okay, so this is the formula. Do remember this, right? Now we will assemble the instructions and we will check one by one whether it's PC or whether it's base or whether it's immediate or whether it's indirect, right? By looking at the instruction itself, sometimes you can tell which type of instruction it is, or which type of addressing mode it is using. Like for example, here it's a format 3 instruction that's using immediate addressing mode. It's a format 3 instruction that's using immediate addressing mode. This one as well, format 3 using immediate addressing mode. Okay, but do remember that there is a difference between this immediate addressing mode and this immediate addressing mode. Okay, I'll come back to that. Then if you look into this particular instruction, we have at symbol. At symbol means we are using indirect addressing mode. Okay, so if there is any instruction that contains comma x, right, so in that case we are using indexed addressing mode. Okay, and of course when you use plus, you are using an extended format. Okay, so by looking at the instruction itself, sometimes you will be able to know what type of instruction it is and what addressing mode it is actually using. Okay, so we started with a few instructions with the PC in the last session. I think STL, RET, ADR, LDA length, and jump if equal to end fill, STA buffer, and STA length, right? So all these instructions were assembled in the last session. Okay, I'll just show you one of them for reference or something like this. Okay, I'll take this STA length. What is the value of STA? Let us check. I think STA value 0C, right? So STA is 0C. And return, sorry, length is 0033. Okay, so this is STA, this is length, right? So now we need to assemble this instruction. For that, I need the value of PC. So I'm assembling this instruction. So quite obvious that the value present will be 0026. So I'm assembling the instruction at 0023. So obviously the next instruction is present at 0026. Okay, plus 3. Right. So content of PC is known. Target address is known. Okay. So I need to calculate the displacement. Right. So but before that, let us write down the flag values. Right. So 0, 0, 0, 0. C means I believe it is 1100. Okay. So N I sorry, X, B, P and E. So X is set to 0, B is set to 0, P is set to 1 and E is set to 0. So neither immediate nor indirect. So 1, 1. So these are the values of the flag fields. Okay. Now I need to calculate the displacement, right? So how do we calculate? Target address is equal to content of PC plus displacement. But I know two values. I don't know displacement. So I will just shift this PC towards the left. So I'll get the formula target address minus PC is equal to displacement. So what's the target address? 0033 minus what is the content of PC? 0026. Okay. So what is the value you get? Can you subtract and tell? Okay, just 00 D is it? Okay. Okay. Assume that it is 00. You subtract 0033 with 0026. I'll assume that it is 0D. Okay. Somebody gave the answer. So I don't want to open calculator again. Right. So now this is what we have got. So first 4 bits 0 as usual. Second 4 bits all 1, right? So we have got F or something. Okay, then it is 0010 because of P bit we have got 0010. So it is 0F2. Then the answer is displacement is 00. Okay, something like this, right? 0F20 0D. Okay, right. So this is how the instruction gets assembled if it's a PC relative addressing mode, right? So if it's not PC relative addressing mode, if it's base, okay, I will come back to base because there is no instruction present here which uses the base relative addressing mode. I'll explain base relative addressing mode later, but let us look at some of the other type of instructions. Okay, so let us start with an instruction that's format 3, but it uses an immediate addressing. Okay, like for example compare. Okay, I believe compare is 48. COMP, is it there? Compare value. Yes, sorry, 28. Right, so compare is 28. Right. So let us try to assemble this instruction. Okay. So opcode is 28. So this is the format 3. I just kept this ready for discussion. So this is format 3 and this is format 4. So what type of instruction it is? This is a format 3 instruction, but it is using an immediate addressing mode. Okay. So 28 is the opcode. So 28 means what? 0010. This is for 2. 8 is what? 1000, right? So 1000, right? So we write 1000. but of course we know that it's using an immediate addressing mode. So I have to change this value to 1. Okay. Now, is it using indexed addressing mode? No. Is it using base? No, because it's using immediate addressing mode. Correct. So immediate means what? Opcode is, sorry, operand is present in the instruction itself, right? So we're providing the operand in the instruction itself. So no PC, no extended format. So all of them are 0, only I bit is set to 1, right? Now in case of immediate addressing mode, if the operand is present directly in the instruction, then we write it down as it is. Okay, so what is the instruction? Instruction is compare 0. What is the immediate operand? 0. So we write it as it is. So 0, 0, 0. So 0 is the operand, right? Now this is the instruction. So 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, and then this. Okay, so now let us check what is the instruction. So this is 2 as usual, no change. So from 8, this has become 9. So no values set here. So this is 0. And what is the displacement? So 0, 0, 0. So this is the instruction that is assembled. Okay. There is one more instruction that is similar. I believe you can assemble this instruction. LDA #3. Can anyone tell me what would be the value for that? LDA #3. LDA value is 0, 0, by the way. So LDA value is 0, 0, right? So if you have tried, then just verify. You can verify. So LDA is 0, 0, right? So 0, 0, 0, 0, first 4 bits, and then 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. But it is an immediate addressing mode. So set the I bit to 1. Okay. Again, I told it's an instruction that contains the value directly. Operand is present. So no X, because of that X is set to 0. So since operand is directly present in the instruction, no relative addressing modes are used and not even extended format is used. Okay. So what is the operand here? Operand is 3. Okay. So write 3 here. So 0, 0, 3. See, I am writing 0, 0, 3 here because I know that even if I expand, it does not make any difference. Okay. But you can actually expand it and write and then show it in your calculations. Okay, right? So anyhow, it's not required. I can directly write it like this because it's a 12-bit. See, it is 12 bits, right? So 12-bit displacement. So, but clearly show that this is a 12-bit displacement. That's it, right? So now let us check. So 0, 0, 0, 0 as it is. 0, 0, 0, 1, which means this is 1. This is 0, 0, 0. Okay, what is the next one? 0, 0, 3. So this is the instruction that has been assembled, right? Now, there is one more type of immediate operand that gets assembled in a different way. Okay, observe this statement, LDB #length. Okay, now what is the difference between this instruction and this instruction or this one? Here we have the operand. Okay, or here the immediate operand is a number, right? But here the immediate operand is a label, right? So it's a label. So when it's a label, so obviously it will have some address associated with it, or we are dealing with an address. So whenever we are dealing with an address, even though this is an immediate operand, so the value of this immediate operand has to be calculated relatively. Okay, because it's a label. Okay, get the difference between this instruction and this instruction. Both of them are actually using immediate addressing mode, but this one is using a label as an immediate operand. So I need to calculate the address of the label, the displacement of the label, and then I need to put it in my instruction as immediate operand. Okay, so that's why the calculation for this instruction will go as follows. Okay, what is LDB, right? So I guess forgot the LDB value. Let me check. So LDB value is, so as you can observe, LDB value is 68. Okay, so LDB value is 68. So let us just calculate 68. 60110 it is, I believe. Yeah, 68, right? 1000. So 0, but of course immediate operand is present, so 1. Okay, so as usual x will be 0, base will be 0, but as I said, it's with respect to a label. So when it's with respect to a label, we have to use relative addressing. So which relative addressing mode? By default it is PC, so set to 0, right? So now we'll calculate target address minus the content of PC will give me the displacement. Okay, so what is the target address? Length, correct? So what is length? Length is 0033. So it is 0033 minus what is the content of PC? Content of PC is, so we are assembling this instruction. So this is the content of PC 0006, next address, right? So 0033 minus 0006. So what's the value? I believe we'll get 02D. I guess. Okay, can anyone confirm? Is it 02D? I believe it is 02D, right? So calculated the value, so it is 02D. Got it? So we are putting the value. So now let us check 60110, right? So this is 61001. This is 9. This is 2. Okay, then 0 2 D, right? So 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte. So 3 byte instruction format assembled using immediate addressing mode, but because it was a label, we also had to use PC relative addressing mode. Okay, so this is how you do it when you see an immediate addressing mode. Any doubts here with immediate addressing mode? You have to look at two things. One is what type of operand it is. Okay, so if it is a normal number, right, or if the operand has been specified directly, then it's very easy. Set the I bit to 1, write down the operand, that's it. Okay, but if it is a label, right, if it's a label, then you have to set the I bit to 1 as usual, but you need to calculate the displacement relative to that particular instruction and put the displacement in the displacement field. Got it? So this is one change that you need to note down whenever it comes to immediate addressing mode. Okay, so now we are done with PC, we are done with immediate addressing mode, instructions with immediate addressing mode. Now let us look at indirect addressing mode. Okay, so there is only one instruction present here which contains indirect addressing mode. Okay, let us check that out. So what is this? Indirect J, I want the opcode for J. Let me check whether I have it. J is 3C. Okay, so let us try to assemble that instruction now. So J is 3C and return address. What is the value of return address? Return address is 0030. So let me clear this out. Okay, 3C. So 0011. C is, I believe, 1100. Okay, so 1100. So I need to write 1100, but because I know that I'm using indirect addressing mode, I'll set N to 1. Okay, Now, am I using X? No. Am I using B? No. Of course, we might be using PC. Okay. Why? Because there is a label. So whenever there is a label in an instruction format 3, just know that you are supposed to use some sort of relative addressing mode. Okay. So I'm now assuming that I'm using PC relative addressing mode. Okay. Extended format is 0. Okay. So what is the formula? Again, target address minus the content of PC will give me the displacement value. Okay. So target address is RETADR, which is 0030 minus what is the content of PC. So I'm assembling this instruction. So obviously next instruction is 002D, right? So 002D. So how far it is? Okay, by looking at the instruction itself, I can tell it is only 3 bytes away, right? I need not use the calculator for this. So it is only 3 bytes away. So it is 003. So I'll write 003 here. So now let us check what is the instruction. Okay, so 3 as usual does not change. Okay, this is 11110. Okay, so it is 3E. Okay, so this is 2003. Got it? So this is how you assemble an indirect addressing mode. Okay, so we are done with PC, immediate, indirect, right? So of course, when it comes to indexed addressing mode, we already know that it will look something like this. So in that case, what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to set the X bit to 1. Okay, set the X bit to 1, and into our calculation, we also need to consider the value of X as usual. Okay, so what would happen is, if this is the case, then while calculating the displacement, you have to subtract the value of X also. Got it? That's the only option that we have, or that's the only change with regard to indexed addressing mode, right? So remaining is obviously the base relative addressing mode, which I'll come back to later, right? So if we just assemble the instruction like this, then this is what we get. Okay. Oh, sorry, I haven't explained about the format 4 instruction. Okay, I'll just explain that. So now let us look at the extended format instruction. Okay, so extended format instruction, how many are there? So 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so read record, I think the address is 1036. Okay, the address is 1036. Write record, I believe I will give you later. So 1036 is the value of read record. It is not present here. It's the further part of the program. So I'm just cut short that. So remember that read record is 1036. Okay, JSub is 48. Right now, because there is a plus, I already know that this is a format 4 instruction. Okay, so now I will consider the format 4 instruction. So it is 48 for opcode. So 0 1 0 0. 8 is 1000, right? So 1000 10 0 0, right? So I'm not using indexed as usual in this one also. So it is 0. I'm not using base also. Okay, I'm not using PC also because it's a direct addressing, and I'm also not, so I'm using extended format, sorry. So I will mark this as 1. Okay, and as usual, in case of SIC bar XC, if indirect or indexed is not used, you have to set it to 1 1. Remember this. Okay. Okay, now what is the address? So it's a 5 half byte address field. So 0, what is the address? Direct address 1036. Directly mention the address. That's it. Okay, 01036. So this is a 20-bit address field, correct? So 4 4 4 4 4 4 5 4s are 20, right? So it's a 20-bit address field, 6-bit opcode and 6-bit flag fields, right? So now we shall see what is the assembled instruction. So 4 1011. What is this? I believe B, right? So this is B. So this is 101036. Okay. So 1 byte. Check this out. 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte, 4 byte. Okay. So this is a 4 byte instruction format directly assembled. Okay. Now can you try that out with the next one? 1058 is the address of write record. Okay, 1058 is the address of write record. Can anyone tell me what is the answer we'll get? (1058). Okay, so directly write the address 1058. Okay, set the extended format one. Once again, opcode was same, so obviously it does not change. So it is 41011. So this is 4B. Of course, all of these are 0. Okay, then 101058. Okay, so 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte. Okay, I guess I put one extra. So 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte. Just a second. 0001, right? So this is 4B1. Sorry, 4B10. So 4B10 1058. Okay, so 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte, 4 byte. Right? So this is how you assemble an extended format instruction, right? So if you do that, then this is how we will get the opcode. Okay. Now there is one more instruction that I wanted you to concentrate on, which is JC loop. Okay, so this one. Right now, this is a format 3 instruction only, and it is using PC relative addressing mode only. But why this instruction is different is because it is actually making a backward reference, right? It is making a backward reference. So when it is making a backward reference, we will get a negative displacement. Okay, we will get a negative displacement. So how do we write a negative displacement in our instruction? So this is an exceptional case, right? So once again, I think J was, what was the value of J? 3C. Okay, J value is 3C. So let us look further what will happen. So 3C, so 0011, C is 1100, but as I'm not using immediate or indirect, I'll set the value of n and I to 1 and 1. Of course, X I'm not using, 0. Base I will not use, I will use PC only, and extended format is 0. Okay, now we know the formula. It is target address minus the content of PC, okay, is equal to displacement. So let us check out what is the target address. Target address is C loop, which is present at 0006. Okay, so we'll write 0006 minus. What is the content of PC? Content of PC is we are assembling the instruction present at 17. So PC is pointing to 001A. So I write 001A. Right. So what is the answer for this? If you look into your calculator and calculate this, you will get something like F and then EC. Okay. So obviously it is correct only, but how did we get that EC is what we need to understand. Okay. So the displacement that you're actually going to get is 14. Like for example, if I subtract 1A from 6, I'll get 14. Okay, but we are subtracting 6 from 1A. So obviously the result is minus 14. Okay, the displacement is minus 14. Okay, you can also verify that, right? This is where the PC is. So 3 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 plus 3, right? 6, like you add it, you'll get 14 in hexadecimal. Okay. So, but it is not plus 14, it is minus 14, right? Because we are going backwards. So how do we represent minus 14? Okay. So we know that everything is represented as 2's complement. So even the negative number has to be represented using 2's complement. Okay. So what is 14? So it is 0, 1, 4, but it is negative 0, 1, 4, minus 0, 1, 4. Okay. So let us try to represent that in 2's complement. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. And what is 4? 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay. How do we put it in 2's complement? So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. So 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay. 1's complement first, then add 1 to it. Okay. So 1 plus 1, 0, 1 carried, 1 plus 1, 0, 1 carried, 1, 1. So this does not change. So no change here and no changes here. Okay. So what have we got here? So this is F, this is E, right? And this one is C. Got it? So this is what we can write. So this will become, it's a negative displacement. So it is FEC. So now the instruction is 3, I guess, right? So this is 0, 1. So this is 3. This one is 3. 1, 1, 1, 1. F, I believe. So this is 2. Then F, E, and then C. Okay. Got it? Okay. So this is how we handle the negative displacement. Now remember one more thing. When we convert the value to 2's complement, okay, so here we have got F, E, and C. If it is exceeding F, 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 then this is one of the case where we cannot assemble this instruction using PC relative addressing mode. Okay, because it's a 12-bit displacement. So 12-bit means what? 1111 maximum 1111 1111. So this is what maximum value that we can have in the displacement field. If it is exceeding this value, then quite obvious we cannot assemble that using PC relative addressing mode. So we have to either go with base relative addressing mode, or we are supposed to use an extended format instruction. Okay, so do remember this, because this is an exceptional case, right? So once we are done with all the instructions, it would look something like this. So this is the object code that has been generated. So the same object code has to be put into the object program format, which is the text record format. Okay, right? So I'll show you the object program later, but this is how we generate the object code. Okay, any doubts here up to this point? So if you have any doubts, you can put it in the comment box. If not, pick up your pen and paper and try to assemble this instruction. Okay, so the starting address I will give. The starting address is 1039. Okay, so the starting address is 1039. So 5 minutes time to complete the address assignment. First, complete the address assignment. Okay, I want all of you to try. I will ask any one. I'm looking for those who don't have any profile pictures. Zabiullah has left the meeting. Smart boy. Okay. Okay, you try. Everybody has become smart. Everyone has put profile picture except Rakesh. Rakesh Kumar K. You have to add your profile picture. That's the reason why I'm asking the first question to you. What is the address for the next instruction? Rakesh, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What is the address for the second instruction? Clear here. The first instruction address I have given 1039. What is the address for the second instruction? Address that will be assigned for the second instruction. Both class idra?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is going to be the address assigned for the next instruction? ಇದು ಯಾವ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಪ್ಪ? ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 1, ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2, ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 3, ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 4?
Format 1.
ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್
1.
1 ಅಲ್ಲ. 1 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಬರೀ 1 ಬೈಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಆಪ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಬರೀ ಆಪ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲೇನೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರೆ, ಆಪರಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಆಪರಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ either it should be format 2 or format 3 or format 4. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಕೇಳಿಸಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ರಾಕೇಶ್?
Yes, yes, sir.
ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 4 ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ we will have ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸೈನ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದೆಯಾ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಅಂತ? ಇದೆಯಾ ರಾಕೇಶ್?
No, sir.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 4 ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹೌದಾ?
Yes.
ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 3 ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2 ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2 ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2 ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆಪರಾಂಡ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ರಾಕೇಶ್?
Yes, sir.
ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
It is a register. So obviously what type of instruction format it is? Register ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್? 2 ನೋ 3 ನಾ? ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2. ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳು. ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2 ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2 ದ ಸೈಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್? ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದೆ. ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 1 is 1 byte. Remember this, Rakesh. Format 2 is 2 bytes. Format 3 is 3 bytes. Format 4 is 4 bytes. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ 2 ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೈಟ್ ಅದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್? 2 bytes. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಲೊಕೇಶನ್ ಕೌಂಟರ್ಗೆ? 2. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ 9, 10, 11. ಹೌದಾ? 9 + 2 is 11. ಸೊ 11 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹೆಕ್ಸಾಡೆಸಿಮಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ
Yes, sir.
ರಾಕೇಶ್?
Yes, sir.
ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes.
Okay. But do follow the process. Okay, it is very, very important.
Yes.
Right. So has anybody completed address assignment? Next question will go to Shashank, because his profile picture is riding a bike with helmet on. And Zabiullah Khan. Next question is for Zabiullah Khan, who has joined in. Okay, so 1039 plus the, okay, I hope everybody followed this. So at 1039 we have an instruction that's of format 2. Okay, why it is format 2 I already told, that this is a instruction that contains a register as an operand. So wherever an instruction contains a register as an operand, it is format 2. So format 2 size is 2 bytes. So I have to increment by only 2. So it is 103 is B, 103B. Okay, so this is presented 103B. Now my next question is, what is the value of this one? 103, Shashank.
Yes, sir.
What is the address for the third instruction?
So it's a format 2.
Okay.
So 2 byte increment will be there.
Okay, 2 byte.
103D, sir.
Yes, right. Good. Okay, Zabiullah. Next, what is the value for LDT plus LDT 4096? Zabiullah, are you present?
Yes, sir.
Can you just tell me what would be the value for plus LDT, the fourth instruction, plus LDT hash 4096? 103.
The format for
No. See, the previous instruction is having an address of 103D, right?
yes.
And at that location, we have what type of instruction? This is a format 2 instruction. You left when I was explaining about this. See, this is a format 2 instruction, right? So because there is a register present here in the operand field. And what is the size of format 2 instruction? 2 bytes. Okay. So we are supposed to increment by only 2. So 103D plus 2. How much it is? D. Then E. F. Right? So it is 103F. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah. And why did I ask you this question?
I left the class, sir.
No. Because you don't have a profile picture.
Okay.
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 Right. Anyways, so I hope all of you have further continued. Remember, once again, here we have an instruction that uses format 2. Remember, here we have an instruction that uses format 2. Okay. So has everyone tried? I hope you have, because if you have not, you will not learn and you will be losing marks in your internal. Okay, I hope you have done this and you have got the following addresses assigned. Just verify. Oh, sorry, I gave 1039. Huh? Oh, sorry, I gave 1039. Anyhow, if you have done it correctly, then just 3 values, it will be different. Okay, but this is 1036. Okay, address is 1036. Right? So this is the value that we are going to get. Now, I will show you a few instructions that has not been considered in the previous case. Like, for example, this one, clear X. Okay. Now, clear X is a 2-byte instruction format. Okay. And the opcode for clear is B4. Okay. So 2-byte instruction format. So this is a 2-byte instruction format. How do we assemble it? It's very easy. B4, we write it as it is. So 8-bit opcode it is. Now register 1 and register values has to be filled up. Okay. So in the instruction, we don't have the second operand. So when we don't have the second operand, we simply write it as 0. We fill it up with 0. Okay, because there's nothing. Okay, and the value of X. What is the value of X? If you remember, all the registers have some number, right? So 0, 1, 2, something like this. PC is 8 and BSTF is something, right? So some numbering is associated with every register, and hence we will just write that register number. Okay, like X number is 1. Okay, so this is the instruction that is assembled, B410. Okay, similarly, I believe second instruction, clear A, right? So B clear, once again it is B4. The first register is A, so we'll put 0 here. Okay, so it is B400, second instruction. Third instruction is clear S. I think S is 0, 1, 2, 3, I believe. BSTF, sorry, 4, right? So S value is 4, so it will become B440. I'm assuming that it is 4 number for register S. Okay, so this is how we assemble the instruction with registers or format 2 instructions, right? There's one more here, see, compare A comma S, right? So compare A comma S, how do we do that? Compare, what is the value of compare? Let me check. Compare
28.
38, huh? Okay, so 38. So 38 we write as usual. Okay, then we check what is the operand, right? So operands are A and S. So 0 and 4. So 0 first register, second register number is 4. So it is 3804, something like this. Okay, so this is how we assemble an instruction which is format 2, right? So I would like you to continue with the remaining instructions, because all the other type of instructions we have already assembled. Try them out. When is the next session? 12. Is it done? Okay, if you have tried and succeeded in getting these answers, very good. Okay, if not, take a snapshot of this and try to verify before coming to the next session. Okay, verify your answers with what is present here. Take a snapshot of this. I would like everyone to try this out. Okay, you have to get these values as the object code. Okay, the one exceptional case might be there in one instruction, which obviously is the one that I have left out. I would like you to point that out as well in the next session. Which instruction is that? I want you to find out. Okay, and I will ask that question to anybody else because everybody has put profile pictures. Right? I hope you have next session at 12. Any doubts you have up to this point? Obviously, until and unless you try this out, you will never know what doubt you have. Okay, so I would like you to try this out. This is very, 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 very important. The assembly process and the generation of object program for SIC bar XC, because in the examination they are not going to ask SIC standard model program. It's always going to be SIC bar XC program. So you need to understand this concept very well. Okay, otherwise you are going to lose marks even in internals. Got it? So be careful and look into the program and the PPT. I already shared the PPT with you. You can look into it. Verify how did we get this object code. Okay, you have the answer to cross verify. So verify, try this out on your own. And if you do get any doubts, then you can inform me in the next session. Okay, obviously it is in the evening, right? Anyhow, I'll stop here. I'll take the attendance also. And the students who are unable to join the session because of the limitation, I'm trying something out. I hope I will get a solution for this. In case if you are unable to join the session due to participant limitation, drop a text to my WhatsApp number. I will, if there are more than like 10, 20 students or something like this, or any number, if it is, I will conduct a separate session for you. Okay. So next time, if I am unable to solve that problem of 100 participants, and if you are left out of the class, immediately drop a text to my WhatsApp number. Okay, or if you are following me on Instagram, you can also drop it on Instagram. So I will conduct a session separately for them. So do remember this. Okay. So I'll see you in the next session. Try that exercise out and let me know if you have any doubts in the next session. Okay. So thank you, students.